Hi everyone, my name is Pakulski. Today we'll continue creating financial model of a truck. And today we will talk about truck maintenance, the expenses to maintain the operating activity of a truck. Because when the truck reaches this or that mileage, we will go to dealership and have some expenses to maintain this truck. And today we'll create the optimized algorithm for this type of expenses. So we will just set up the amount of expenses. We will set up the mileage when we have this or that expenses, and according to our odometer of the truck, we will automatically have these expenses downloaded into the model. So we will just the logic of this algorithm will be as following. We will just set up the mileage per month, and the expenses on service on dealership will appear automatically. So how we can create this algorithm? By the way, if you like this video, if you find this video valuable, you may give us a like, subscribe our channel, share this video with your friends. Also, you can order financial model from scratch for your unique business idea. We can help you with that. So the first thing what we have to do is to set up the mileage on odometer when we're going to sell an old truck. One day our truck will become an old one, and we will sell it. For example, if our truck reaches 1 million miles, this is an input, so we marked it with specific color which goes with all of our inputs. So for example, one day our truck will reach this mileage on odometer, and we will sell it and buy a new one. So in our financial model, the truck won't last forever. This will be a circle of trucks. So and now we're creating virtual odometer. So and here we will write a formula using if function. If this plus this is less or equal this value, then we use this. Otherwise, we are starting a new life circle of a truck. Now we will extrapolate this formula to our timeline. So if we look here in details, there is a moment like this when we reached 1 million miles, and this is the moment when we bought a new truck and sold an old truck. So and now we have to link our service expenses, maintenance expenses to this or that mileage. So how we can do that? I will create a separate block of inputs for that purpose. Service expenses, Here will be the mileage. Here will be a cost per service. So for example, we will do a service once in 10,000 miles, so we can set up any data here. So these are the inputs. This will be the cost of service. This will be service interval. Or we can just have service 1, 2, 3 and so on. And now we have to put all these expenses inside the timeline. For example, when the truck reaches 10,000 miles, so it is inside this month. In March 2023, we should put $200 for service number 1. When we reach 20,000 miles, we pay $230 for the service number 2. So it is here in May 2023, and now we'll create the automatic algorithm for that. I will copy the timeline. So here we will put all our service. Here will be the total. So here we will create totals for services, for service expenses, this line later will go to the cash flow statement, so we marked it with red, like all our expenses. So now we have to create formulas using if function. The problem, the interesting thing about if function is has a very easy spelling, but the trouble is that you have to remember all scenarios that you have to put inside this formula. So we will create two types of formulas, for the first month and for the second month, and so on. So let's write the first formula for the first month of our horizon. So we will take virtual odometer. If this value is equal to 0, then 0. Then if not, if, and this is more than 0, and now we're going to the mileage here, and if this mileage, we will freeze the column if the mileage is less or equal to this value, don't forget to freeze line and column here is equal to 0, then we put this expense. Otherwise 0, and this is the first formula for the column. And now let's create the formula for February. This will be a little bit more interesting. So let's start. We will use if and end function. We will go back to our odometer. If this is equal to 0 and this is equal to 0, don't forget to freeze the line, then 0. This is the first situation that we have to describe. Then we move to the next scenario. If this one is equal to 0, this one is more than 0, and this mileage is less or equal to this value, then we put this expense. Then we move to the next scenario. If both of them are more than 0, if this value is more than this value but less or equal to this value, then we put our expense. And the last scenario, if this is more than 0, this is more than 0, this is less than this. This is the moment when we buy a new truck, when we start a new life cycle. We describe this moment. Is more than 0. This value is less than this value. Then this mileage, don't forget to fix the column, this mileage is less or equal to this value, then we put this expense. Otherwise we take 0. So here we see our expenses on truck maintenance. So what are we fighting for? Why we do that? So for example, service 1, $200. We go here. We know that we paid $200 when our truck reaches 10,000 miles. So inside this interval we have 12,000 miles, so 10,000 miles inside this interval. So we pay in pay in May 2022. We pay in July 2022 we have service 2, which costs $230. So $230. So it is 20,000 miles. So here we have 27,600 miles on odometer. So here we have less, here we have more. Then this means that in July we have service number 2. Then, for example, we can go to November. That will be a more interesting month. Inside November we have 2 services, service number 6 and service number 7. So we just go to here. Service number 6 and service number 7 appears when we have 60 and 70,000 miles on odometer. This means that here we have less than 60,000 in this month. So 60 and 70,000 miles, these 2 intervals both are inside November 2022. And here we have expenses on services number 6 and 7, and we don't put all these values manually. We put they are born automatically. What is interesting, what is fantastic, I think, we just can, for example, adjust the amount of miles that our truck makes per month. Here it is, and we can go back to our expenses, and now we can see that we have more months when we have 2 services inside 1 month. So all expenses are automized or on truck maintenance. So we can, for example, add we will just take new inputs. For example, we can go back to our service expenses, maintenance, dealership expenses, you can call it as you want, and here you can see how the service expenses are calculated automatically. What is valuable here, so when the car reaches 1 million miles, we are starting a new cycle. So at this moment we bought a new car, a new truck. So here is the moment when we sold a new truck, bought a new truck, and we started a new odometer cycle. And right from this moment we saw how our expenses, service expenses, maintenance expenses started from a new cycle. For example, if we want to sell our truck when it reaches, for example, 500,000 miles, so we can see how it stops here, and then we start a new cycle. So our truck doesn't last forever, so we can see the realistic picture of expenses. So, and we don't have to retype huge sets of data, and retyping this data we can make mistakes, and to avoid these mistakes we can just set up cost of service of dealership service, then the mileage on odometer, what is the name of service. Usually in service books there are some names of this service when we check up gears, shift, whatever. Here we just set up the mileage when we're going to sell an old truck, when the truck becomes an old one, and we can just set up the mileage per month, and all expenses are done automatically. So this is very valuable during scenario analysis. We will go further and look at cash flow statement. So this video was devoted specifically to service expenses, dealership expenses, maintenance of the truck. So if you find this video valuable, you may give us a like, subscribe our channel, share this video with your friends. Also, you can order financial model from scratch for your unique business idea. So see you next videos. Thank you and bye.